Hello children, I am happy to meet you all again. Today we are going to learn finite and non-finite verbs. So let us first go from known to unknown. Now look at these sentences children. Look at the first sentence. She runs fast. And the next sentence is they run fast. And the third sentence is she ran fast. Right? Now I have used the different forms of the verb runs in all three sentences. Now what could be the reason? Think about it children. Why do you think that I have used the different forms of the verb in different sentences? Yes, very good. Did you get the answer? Yes. The first sentence, the subject is she, that is in singular. So we have used runs there. And in the second sentence, the subject is plural, they. We are talking about multiple subject there, right? So we have used run. And in the third sentence, I've used ran. So here we are indicating the time. So I am talking about something that has happened, some action that has been completed, right? So I have used ran there. Now what do you understand? We use the different forms of verb to indicate subject, singular or plural, and to indicate person, first person, second or third person, and to indicate time, present, past and future, right? Very good children. So when a verb is changing to agree with the subject, then that particular verb is known as finite verbs. Now do you understand? Now let us look at the definition for it. So what is a finite verb? A verb that is inflected to indicate person, first person, second and third person, and tense, present tense, past tense and future tense, or number, okay, singular or plural. Then that particular verb is called finite verbs. Is it clear children? Do you understand? Now let us do an exercise. Now look at these sentences children. She prepares for her exam. They travel a lot. We dreamt of many good things together. They don't rely on him. She speaks English. I am a teacher. He is fond of his daughter. Now the verbs that are in bold are called as finite verbs. Why? Because it is inflected to indicate number, person and tense. In the first sentence, she prepares for her exam. Here the subject is in singular. So we have used the verb prepares there. And in the second sentence, they travel. So here the subject is in plural. So we have used to travel there. We have not added s to the verb. And here in the third one, we dreamt of many good things together. Here we are indicating time. We are talking about past. So I have used dreamt. And in the fourth sentence, they don't rely on him. Here I've used this auxiliary verb don't because it has to agree with the subject that is in plural, they. So if it were fifth sentence, she speaks English. Here I've used speaks because the subject is singular. And in the sixth sentence, I am a teacher. Here we are talking about again singular subject. So I've used am. The last one, he is fond of his daughter. Again his here because the subject is singular. Now all these verbs have inflected. So these verbs are called as finite verb. In every sentence, you will have a single finite verb, which will be a main verb of a sentence. Is it clear now? Do we know what is a finite verb? Now, let us go to non-finite verbs. Now, look at these sentences, children. The same sentences only, same pictures you have again. Now, she likes to run fast. A second sentence, they like to run fast. Third one, she liked to run fast. The first sentence, she likes, they like, she liked. We know why we've used likes, like and liked. We've just learned because they are finite verbs and they have inflected to indicate time, person and tense. Look at the next one. To run in the first sentence, second sentence again to run, and in the third sentence again to run. So this has not changed. It remains the same, but it does not indicate time or tense or person. It remains the same. So it is not inflected here. So which means a verb that is not inflected to indicate time, person and tense is called as non-finite verbs. Now in the same sentences, try to identify the finite verb and the non-finite verb. First sentence, likes is finite, to run is non-finite. Second sentence, like is finite, to run is non-finite. Third sentence, liked is again finite, to run is non-finite. Is it clear, children? Definition for non-finite verbs. A verb that is not inflected to indicate person, tense or number is called as non-finite verb. They are mainly of three kinds. They are infinitives, gerunds and participles. Okay. Now what is the main difference between finite and non-finite? Finite gets inflected, non-finite does not get inflected. So this is the main difference between these two. So keep this in your mind. And when it comes to non-finite verbs, they are of three kinds. First one is infinitives, second one is gerund and third one is participles. Now we are going to look at these three non-finite verbs in detail. Now let us look at infinitive. Look at these sentences, children. To find fault is easy. He likes to play guitar. She knows to cook. This is not the time to play. To respect our parents is our duty. The children are anxious to learn. Now look at these verbs that are in bold, children. Find, play, cook, play, respect, learn. So they are all in the base form of the verb, right? But they are all preceded by to. So when you have such construction, a verb preceded by to, that is called as infinitive. So whatever verbs that are in bold here are called as infinitive. To plus base form of the verb. It can act like a noun, adverb and adjective and infinitive. So we've already learnt about parts of speech. So according to the place of a word in a sentence, it functions differently. Okay. To find fault is easy. Here it is used as subject. He likes to play guitar, to play, infinitive. She knows to cook, infinitive, to cook. This is not the time to play is infinitive. To respect, infinitive, and finally to learn is infinitive. Is it clear, children? So why do we call it infinite verb? Because they are not inflected. They do not indicate person, time here. It remains the same regardless of the subject. Do you understand that, children? Now let us move on to the gerunds. Walking is good for health. Singing is not allowed here. Playing cricket is his favorite pastime. I like reading poetry. I am tired of waiting. What I most like is dancing. So here the verbs that are in bold, what are they? Walking, singing, playing, reading, waiting, dancing. So these are called as gerunds. So basically gerund ends in ing. So it looks like a verb, but actually it functions as a noun. So it is otherwise called as verbal noun. Do you understand that, children? So walking here does not indicate the action. Here walking is considered as an exercise, so it functions as a noun there. So another clue for you to find out whether it is gerund or not is it ends in ing. So walking, singing, playing, reading, waiting, dancing. These are known as gerunds because it ends in ing. First three verbs, walking, singing, playing, is used as the subject of the verb. Now look at the fourth sentence. I like reading poetry. Here, reading is used as an object of a verb. And fifth sentence, I am tired of waiting. Here, waiting is gerund and it is used as a object of a preposition. And in the last sentence, what I most like is dancing. Here it is used as a complement of a verb. Is it clear, children? So, any verb that ends in ing and that functions as a noun is known as gerund. Walking, singing, playing, reading, waiting, dancing are gerunds here. So, we have already seen that non-finite verbs are of three kinds. First one is infinitive, second one is gerund, third one is participles. So out of these three, we have already seen what is an infinitive and a gerund. Now we are going to look at participles. So when it comes to participles, they are of three kinds again, children. Present participle, past participle and perfect participle. Okay, so when we think about present participle, it again ends in ing. Now you may get confused because gerund is also ending in ing and this present participle is also ending in ing. Now you will have to have a clear idea to distinguish these two, right? Now what did I tell? Gerund functions as a noun. It is a verbal noun. Here, participles, that is present participle, gives you adjectival information, which means it can act as an adjective. So here, it acts as an adjective, but gerunds acts as a noun. So that is the main difference between these two, gerunds and participles. Participles, again, present participle, because that is the thing that ends in ing. So, past participle ends in ed or d or t, en or n. Okay. And perfect participle, we are going to use the third form of the verb, but it will have having preceded by it. So, that is the three forms of participles. Now, look at these sentences, children, and pay more attention to the verbs that are in bold. The first sentence, the crying baby had a swollen toe. Second sentence, removing his coat, Paul rushed to the river. Third sentence, Iniyal noticed her cousin walking along the shoreline. Fourth one, driven by hunger, he stole a piece of bread. Fifth one, he wears a worried look. And the last one is, a lost opportunity never returns. Now, have you paid more attention to the verbs that are in bold? Now, are you able to identify and classify them into present, past and perfect, children? Now, look at the first one, crying baby. So, here, this crying is giving information about the baby. So, it modifies the noun baby here. So, it is an adjectival information. So, here this crying is participle, and what kind is that? Present participle. Very good, children. Now, removing his coat, Paul rushed to the river. In the second sentence, it gives information about the subject, Paul. So, he has removed his coat. So, here this removing is again present participle. Third one, Iniyal noticed her cousin walking along the shoreline. Again, it modifies the noun cousin here. So, it gives extra information about cousin. So, here walking is again present participle. Driven by hunger, here this driven is past participle. He stole a piece of bread. Again, it acts as an adjective. He wears a worried look. What kind of a look? Worried look. So it is again acting as an adjective. So this is a participle. What kind? Past participle. And the last one, lost opportunity. So opportunity, that is lost. So again it is modifying the noun. So this is again a participle, past participle. Okay, do you understand this, children? So when it comes to past participle and perfect participle, it actually helps us to shorten or combine the clauses that have the same subject. Okay. So now are you clear with these three kinds, children? Gerunds, infinitives and participles. So gerund is ending in ing and it acts as noun. Very good. It is a verbal noun. And infinitive, it uses the base form of the verb and it is preceded by to. Very good. And participles, it is again of three kinds: present participle, past participle, perfect participles. So present participle is ending in ing, and the difference between present participles, gerund acts as noun, participle acts as an adjective. Okay, and past participle and perfect participle. These two help us to shorten or combine clauses that have the same subject. Is it clear now, children? Now let us do an exercise. Let us test yourself. Now you will have to name the verbs that are in bold. Let me read the sentences slowly one by one. Try to find out whether it is a finite verb or a non-finite verb. Finite gets inflected. Non-finite does not get inflected and it does not indicate time, person or tense. Clear, children? Okay. Now keep this in your mind. I am going to read the sentences one by one. Try to identify the verbs that are in bold, whether it is finite or non-finite. Mahesh does his homework every day. Here the verb that is in bold is does. So what is it? A finite or a non-finite verb? Very good, children. It is a finite verb because it indicates the time as well as number. Very good. So it is finite verb. Shobhi is doing her homework at the moment. Here, doing her homework at the moment. So this doing, what is it? Finite or a non-finite? It is a non-finite verb. If I have highlighted that yes, then that would be finite verb because that is the verb that indicates time and number. Is it clear, children? This doing will remain the same regardless of the subject and time. So this doing is non-finite verb. Very good. Now let us move on to the next one. They are writing a letter. Are. So what is it? A finite or a non-finite verb? Very good, children. It is a finite verb. I hope you are all trying and getting the right answer. Because here the subject is plural. So we have used are here. Hence it is a finite verb. And the next sentence is Nishant speaks English very well. Here speaks again finite or a non-finite verb? Very good. Finite verb because it indicates time as well as number. Very good. And the next one, Raghav has a big car. Has. I have highlighted that verb has. So finite or a non-finite? Finite. Very good, children. Look at this one. The proposal has been examined today. So here I have highlighted been. So that is the verb that is in bold. So what is it? Finite or a non-finite? Very good, children. It is a non-finite verb. She tried to help him. Tried is in bold. So what is it? Finite or a non-finite? Very good, children. It is finite verb. It is healthy to laugh at problems. So to laugh. So what is it? Very good. It is a non-finite verb, and to be very specific, it is infinitive. Very good, children. And the next one is finding the gates widely opened, the thief went inside. Here this finding is, what is it? Finite or a non-finite verb? Very good, children. It is a non-finite verb. And what is it? It is a present participle. Very good. The last one is he had his house cleaned. So what is the verb that is in bold? Cleaned. So what is it? A finite or a non-finite? Very good, children. It is non-finite verb. Is it clear, children? Very good. Now let us do one more exercise. Let me read the title. Fill in the blanks in the following passage by writing the most appropriate non-finite forms of the verbs given in brackets. So here I have not given you the answer. I'm going to hold for a few minutes because I want all of you to try giving the right answer. Let me read the passage for you. While dash, and the verb that is in bracket is read. Tips for health. I learnt that within brackets takes. Tea is not good for health. I tried within brackets think about the ways of within bracket prepare tea. A regular intake of tea is sure within bracket injure one's health. I decided to leave my habit of within bracket consume tea. Very good, children. Here you will have to remember one thing, that we are asked to use the appropriate only non-finite verbs. So remember the rules and the definition that I have given you for non-finite. There are 3 kinds of non-finite. So keep all those things in your mind and try to give the right answer. Let me hold for a few seconds for you, children. Yes. Are you all getting the right answer? Shall we check whether you were right or not? Very good, children. Now let me give you the answer as well. I hope you all tried. You're going to check yourself with the answer that I'm going to give you now. Here you go with the answer. While reading tips for health, I learnt that taking tea is not good for health. I tried to think about the ways of preparing tea. Regular intake of tea is sure to injure one's health. I decided to leave my habit of consuming tea. Very good, children. So, how did you perform? Good. Now, try to classify these non-finite verbs. So, the first one, reading. What is it? It is a present participle. Right? Very good. And then, I learned that taking tea. Again, present participle. I tried to think. This is infinitive. About the ways of preparing tea. So, here again it is present participle. To injure is infinitive. Consuming, it is again present participle. Very good, children. Is it clear? I hope you are clear. Now, let us do one more exercise to reinforce your understanding. This is going to be the last exercise. So, pay more attention, children. Point out the finite and non-finite verbs. In the case of non-finite, state whether it is gerund, participle or infinitive. Now, you have a few sentences here in which you also have a finite verb and also a non-finite verb. Remember this, children, every sentence will definitely have a single finite verb and 1 or 2 non-finite verbs. Okay. Here I have also given you the answer. So this is only to help you reinforce your understanding. So the verbs that are in bold are finite and the verbs that are underlined are non-finite, and the words that I have given you within bracket is the kind of that particular non-finite verb. Is it clear, children? Now let me read the sentence. The first one, I want water to drink. Here want is finite, to drink is non-finite, and what kind? Infinitive. Very good. Now you will have to justify why it is a finite and why it is a non-finite in order to help yourself to make it clear. Okay. The second one, Singing is his favorite pastime. Here singing is a non-finite verb. Very good. And what kind? Gerund. His is a finite verb. Very good, children. I am sorry to hear this. Here am is finite. Very good, children. To hear is non-finite. And what kind? Very good. Infinitive. So you remember to plus base form of verb is very easy for you to understand because it is infinitive. Okay. Now the next sentence is, we drank the sparkling water. So drank is a finite verb. Sparkling is a non-finite verb. Very good, children. Now what is the kind? Participle. Very good. Now are you able to distinguish between participle and gerund? Do you understand that why the sparkling is not a gerund? Because gerund acts as a noun. Participles act as an adjective. Here sparkling water. So it modifies the noun water here. Hence it is a participle, not gerund. Very good, children. The next sentence is, she was depressed to hear the news. Here was is in bold. So it is a finite verb. Depressed is underlined. So it is a non-finite verb. And to hear, again we have one more. Now I have already told you that a sentence will have a single finite and one or two non-finite verbs. Okay, maybe more than two also is possible. So depressed and to hear are non-finite verb. Depressed is past participle. To hear is infinitive. Is it clear, children? Okay, now let us look at the next one. Trespassing is prohibited. Trespassing, here it is non-finite. Is finite. Prohibited, non-finite. So trespassing acting as a noun. So what is it? Very good. Gerund. Prohibited, participle. What kind of a participle? Past participle. Very good, children. Okay, let us now recap. Verb is divided into finite verb and non-finite verb. And what is a finite verb? A verb that gets inflected and a verb that indicates a time, person and number. Very good. Non-finite is a verb that does not inflect and it does not indicate number, person and tense. Very good, children. Non-finite is again of three kinds: gerund, infinitive, participle. Gerund ends in ing. Infinitive uses the base form of verb preceded by to. Participle is again of three kinds: present, past and perfect. Present is also ending in ing, and the difference between gerund and present participle is gerund acts as a noun and participle acts as an adjective. Very good, children. So that's all for today. Thank you.